Hi, welcome to She Spice. It appears as though we have one more 2024 separation added in people. This time it's Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. Yet truly wasn't this one sort of unsurprising reports express that it's finished and they're on the way to separate. And shockingly, Ben isn't being stuck as the sole guilty party this time. Supposedly, he's been lamenting leaving his ex, Jennifer Collect, and jumping into a relationship with music. J-Lo. Before we plunge into the ongoing separation show, we should go on a fast outing through a world of fond memories with Benfer. Their sentiment started back in 2001, with Ben getting down on one knee and introducing a monstrous pink precious stone wedding band in 2002. Anyway, they hit a barrier and canceled their wedding only days before the service in 2004, at last cutting off their friendship a couple of months after the fact. Quick forward almost 20 years. And in 2021, Ben and Jennifer were spotted partaking in a sweet date in the Hamptons. The get-together of Bennifer got everyone's attention in 2021, stamping one of the greatest titles of the year. Quick forward to mid-2023, and Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck have at last settled into married life following an excursion spreading over 20 years and 2 commitments. I was like, I can't leave because of my children, yet unsettled do I do. Their underlying sentiment started in 2002, catalyzed by their cooperation in the rom-com Chuckle. Affleck in the long run asked about getting hitched to J-Lo. However, their romantic tale hit an obstacle, prompting a separation in 2004. Over the course of the years, both wandered into relationships with others, invited youngsters, and explored divorces. They likewise investigated new connections. Post-separate in May 2021, simply a month after Lopez headed out in different directions, from Alex Rodriguez reports of her revived sentiment, with Affleck surfaced by and by the late spring of 2022, they traded promises left on the excursion of lovebirds, actually savoring the sparkle of their new pre-marriage ceremony. However, assuming you've been keeping tabs, you could have seen that Jen and Ben haven't been spotted together freely since around spring 30th, when they were seen making the rounds in New York, adding fuel to the hypothesis fire. Jennifer got consideration by preferring an Instagram post about sound connections. The post message incorporated a piece stressing the test of building a relationship with somebody who is disengaged from themselves, implying that something could be sure to be amiss in their relationship. Jen was likewise flying solo at the Met, function with the clarification being that Ben was tied up dealing with the bookkeeper, to Inez, and couldn't go with her. However, we should be genuine that clarification seems like a stretch. It doesn't take a virtuoso to see that there's some difficulty in heaven, or perhaps a difficult situation, given that we're discussing an expected separation here. Even before these new reports, the signs were copious and ample to be sure. For example, in a viral video, Ben was portrayed as looking focused and hopeless during an espresso run in LA. He appeared to hammer a vehicle entryway in the wake of helping Jennifer into the front seat. That very month, film surface appearance them in what seemed, by all accounts, to be a warmed contention in a vehicle at a bunch of traffic signals in bubble slopes. Ben pointed straightforwardly at Jen, who had plainly taken part in a strained trade discussing warmed minutes. Finally, this year's Grammy grants, Jennifer appeared to lash out at her significant other during a strained trade, which they later attempted to make light of. And in the event that you investigate this video of Ben in the wake of telling J-Lo he'll be back, it seems like he was unable to stand by to move away from her at any rate. Reports are presently demonstrating that they're on 2 distinct pages in their marriage. A source even let the cat out of the bag for the U.S. Week by week about the entire circumstance, Jen and Ben are having issues in their marriage. An insider lets us know that week after week they began having issues a couple months prior, as Jen had begun sloping up work responsibilities and preparing for her visit. Jen is extremely centered around work. They are on 2 totally different pages more often than not. TMZ likewise ringed in, revealing that Ben had to be sure moved out, as indicated by their source. He went out. He had been oftentimes seen going back and forth from where he had likewise been going through the night. Separate from reports, whirling fans have started estimating on their own about why the marriage hit a rough patch. It's nothing unexpected that many accept. Ben became tired of J.Lo continually looking for consideration and broadcasting their affectionate lives for all to investigate. This hypothesis isn't unwarranted considering Ben himself once referenced that, on the off chance that it depended on him, their marriage could never be a virtual entertainment display. Jen and Ben were at first thrown in the towel in 2003, before rejoining 20 years after the fact concerning what caused their separation. Back in 2003, Ben uncovered that the tireless public examination negatively affected their relationship anyway, and he later figured out how to adjust for the new part in their romantic tale. Once they reconnected, he even communicated this opinion on Jennifer's 2024 narrative, The Best Romantic Tale at Any Point Told, underscoring the meaning of their gathering and reuniting. I said, listen, something I don't need is a relationship via web-based entertainment, and afterward I understood it's anything but an exceptionally fair thing to ask. He let it out. It's like you will wed a boat chief and you go, well, I could do without the water, you know? We're only two individuals with various methodologies attempting to figure out how to think twice about perhaps Ben never entirely accustomed to having his affection life under the public magnifying instrument, as it appears to be that this viewpoint fundamentally stressed their marriage. There's even a scene from the narrative where Ben shows up observably awkward, with J.Lo sharing the subtleties of their old love letters with her companions and associates, fanning the fire. There are claims that J.Lo constrained Ben to keep a specific picture, which in the end prompted disappointment on his part. There were even reports guaranteeing that Ben was irate in light of the fact that he was being condemned for fillers and Botox medicines that J.Lo purportedly urged him to get. J.Lo had persuaded him that it's generally expected practice in Hollywood for individuals to go through a touch of facial support, including his dear companions like Matt Damon. There are also many conjectures that, since they haven't been captured together since spring, the separation may be connected with Jen's contribution to Diddy's situation around spring. Bits of hearsay flowed that Jen was embroiled in a portion of the violations, especially concerning the occurrence where Natana Rubin, who was profoundly involved, was harmed. She wants to have the shot pieces eliminated from her face for ballistics proof, showing her readiness to return the case. Nathan Rust says she is ready to have specialists eliminate a piece of a projectile that remains in front of her to demonstrate Diddy Brush shot her at a New York club in 1999. I'm willing to have a specialist eliminate a piece of the 9mm slug in front of me so they can involve it as proof on the off chance that need be for this preliminary ruin, said on the news country's Elizabeth Vargas reports, regardless of whether it implies putting her life in extreme danger. Neaton also guaranteed that J.Lo out and out misled the jury, proposing that she ought to be explored close by Diddy. We as a whole needed to proceed to talk, Br J.Lo affirmed at the great jury, assuming you've been keeping up. J.Lo's been all in all a wreck of late, separated from the Diddy outrage. She's been standing out as truly newsworthy for every one of some unacceptable reasons, from her striving ventures to contentions like the Bronx orange beverage fiasco. And we should not fail to remember the episode where she was found on camera turning biting gum into her associate's hand in New York City. Besides, she's been called out for purportedly abusing her staff with fans, taking note of an example in the stories of those who've worked for her. Moreover, she's been moving again for appropriating dark culture while failing to recognize the dark craftsman behind the progress of her music. It's difficult to disregard the mounting proof that something's not exactly solidly in J.Lo's reality issue with Jenny from the Block is that they cut my chuckle and, they kept ad-libs, and they turned her vocals like right down. Thus, individuals are saying that assuming this is the mentality J.Lo brings into her marriage, it's absolute. Impossible that it would be able have endured anyway. There have likewise been reports recommending that J.Lo and Ben aren't prepared to tap out right now and could choose to deal with their marriage. Ben has faith in treatment to a point and will be a decent game about taking part with a receptive outlook, despite the fact that he despises the entire embarrassing cycle a source uncovers to get in touch. He's never going to check the outcome of this marriage by what occurs in the specialist's office. He likewise has a higher capacity to bear struggle in battling to get everything he could possibly want than the typical person. After the insider noticed that they have known Ben 51 for over 10 years, they made sense of that everything is a battle for the young lady entertainer, Jennifer 54. The main fulfillment he gets in life is defeating when the chances are stacked against him. The source adds that now that they're brought together, the self-image fight among Ben and Jennifer is generally on full display and is just obscured by the conspicuous energy and regard they have for each other, yet there must be a simpler way, and you need to inquire as to why they like their union to be as such. In any case, an insider solely lets in touch to let you know that the high-profile pair has gotten into one more difficult time. In any event, when things are statement unquote great among Ben and Jennifer, their colossal self-images and sharp sentiments mean there will be some. Subscribe She Spice for more videos.